Nat's politicians have been blasted for their inconsistency after the party's top figures released a statement on Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor's arrest. The disgraced ex-Duke was arrested after a dawn raid on his 66th birthday amid a misconduct in public office probe. Plainclothes detectives lifted the shamed former royal at his Sandringham home. Thames Valley Police previously said it was reviewing claims Andrew allegedly shared sensitive information with his paedophile pal Jeffrey Epstein while serving as the UK's trade envoy. Scotland's First Minister John Swinney refused to comment on the arrest.
Well, the announcement in relation to Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor obviously relates to a live case, and I don't think it would be appropriate for me to comment upon that.
But his senior SNP colleagues commented on the bombshell update in the Epstein scandal. SNP Westminster leader Stephen Flynn described the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor as a very serious development. The SNP MP said it underlines why it was a bad misjudgment for Keir Starmer to block Parliament from debating action against Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor as recently as October. The former prince should have been stripped of his titles and roles as quickly as possible. It was a mistake for the Labour government to delay the action. Mr Flynn said it also undermines why Keir Starmer must stop the delays and bring forward legislation as quickly as possible to remove Peter Mandelson's titles, peerage and his taxpayers-funded payout and pension. He insisted there is no excuse for further delays and inaction from the Labour government. Most important of all, we must remember that it was the brave victims of Jeffrey Epstein that have shone a light on all of this. Without the bravery of those women, much of this information may never have come to light. They deserve justice. While former First Minister Humza Yousaf took to X saying, "Due process matters, but so does accountability. For far too long, wealth, titles and status have protected men. It is down to the bravery of Epstein's victims that there is some scrutiny on those associated with him. Let's hope there's also justice." The inconsistency was blasted by political opponents amid days of outrage after this paper exclusively revealed Scotland's Lord Advocate Dorothy Bain tipped off the First Minister about the SNP former Chief Executive and Nicola Sturgeon's husband Peter Murrell being charged with allegedly embezzling hundreds of thousands of pounds from the party. So far, Nat's politicians have remained tight-lipped about Operation Branchform and Mr Murrell's embezzlement charges. Scottish Conservative Deputy Leader Rachel Hamilton said SNP politicians need to get their story straight. Stephen Flynn and Humza Yousaf clearly didn't get John Swinney's memo on how to avoid answering questions on the Lord Advocate's actions. Either that or they, like the rest of the country, see how pathetically weak the First Minister's excuse is. Scottish Labour Deputy Leader Jackie Baillie said the SNP are utterly shameless. They will happily comment on live criminal proceedings when it suits them, but they will refuse when it is politically inconvenient for them. There is a deep-rooted culture and secrecy at the heart of the SNP. There are no depths which they will not plumb to attack their opponents while refusing to take accountability for their own failings, from the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital scandal to the serious questions now swirling about the Lord Advocate tipping off John Swinney about the Peter Murrell case. We exclusively revealed this week how the First Minister was given a 33-day head start when the Lord Advocate told him Mr Murrell had allegedly swindled £459,046 and 49 pence from the SNP. The info was quickly passed on to the Nat spin doctors at the same time as the Crown Office, which Miss Bain heads, was keeping the public in the dark on the £459,046 and 49 pence embezzlement charge facing Nicola Sturgeon's estranged husband. The Lord Advocate, one of two Scottish Government law officers in the Cabinet, sent her note to the SNP Supremo on the 19th of January, but it wasn't until the 13th of February that full details of the charges facing Mr Murrell were exclusively reported by the Scottish Sun. Dorothy Bain has now been forced to deny allegations of corruption by opposition MSPs in Holyrood. A Crown Office spokesman said the Lord Advocate provided the First Minister with an update to ensure it was understood she was not involved in the case. The message was sent formally after the indictment had been served in order to form part of the record and to ensure transparency in due course. Once an indictment has been served on an accused, it stands to become public at any point. A Scottish Government spokesperson previously said it would not be appropriate for the Scottish Government to comment on live criminal proceedings.